The rebooted game that everyone hated upon its initial release in August 2022 was recently completed by yours truly, and honestly, it wasn't actually that bad.
This city ain't what it used to be. It's way better.
If for whatever reason you've been playing YouTube roulette and choosing a video without reading the title or thumbnail, then you don't know what game I'm talking about. So I'm going to tell you, that game is Saints Row. Saints Row is a franchise that has been around for quite a long time, so I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory on it. The original Saints Row game, Saints Row 1, was released in 2006 on the Xbox 360, pretty much trying to fill the gap of hood gangster games in an open world anarchy environment after the hugely successful Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on the PlayStation 2 and Xbox. I always forget that GTA was on Xbox. Personally, I never thought that Saints Row games held a light to the GTA games, but in that little time we had with them, it kind of filled the void for most people with a weird, strange hybrid of over-the-top, unrealistic, goofy action and some weird comedic story mode. It was quite nice. The gameplay left a lot of fun to be had, and Saints Row grew quite a large fan base, but recently in 2023 with the reboot of the series, many fans were left extremely disappointed, and in a result the developing studio actually closed down in late August 2023, which was only 1 year after the rebooted game initial release date. That is absolutely insane. For a whole studio to shut down 1 year after releasing this game, what was actually really bad about it? What was wrong with Saints Row? Well, for starters, the new Saints Row is a complete reboot of the series with a whole new character set based on a whole new area of a fictional city called Santo Leso, based in America Southwest, opposed to a large modern city which all the previous games were in. So it was a desert filled scenery which was quite nice to me, but naturally it didn't feel as busy as the previous game, which was a downside for many people. The story follows your created character who lives with a few close friends that he feels the need to support and provide for, pretty much like a family, which for natural reasons leads him becoming the boss of their own created criminal empire based in an abandoned church, and they call it the Saints. You know, like the usual stuff. Something that I must address was the character customization was extremely in depth, and we're just gonna go with extremely in depth, and the lead character is very charismatic. You can purchase numerous items of clothing in the game, but as a creature of habit who doesn't really like change, I was happy sticking with the simple outfit through the whole duration of the main campaign. This is pretty much the outfit that I started off with, and it was quite cool. I liked it and I stuck with it. The gameplay mechanics were simple and kind of what is expected for a Saints Row game, but something just felt a bit off at most of the times. I can't really explain it, but gunfights, which was about 70% of the main game, the cover system was absolutely terrible and awkward, leaving the player just to use the down arrow just to crouch, and there was no actual cover. It was just pressing down on the arrows. It just didn't feel right. It was wonky, and that could have been massively improved, and it would have made a big difference, to be honest with you. The gunplay was a bit of a strange one because fundamentally it was quite naff. At the same time, a lot of the occasions it was actually quite fun. It just felt really arcadey, and that was quite fun. So I could easily pick it up and play it. The melee weapons, however, they felt quite terrible and were pretty much pointless. The special execution moves were really nice, and you're actually rewarded with a bit of extra health, so it kind of incentivizes you to do that. The driving in this game was okay, it was nothing to write home about, but my worst kind of complaint was the most simple part, and that was the audio. The radio was good, don't get me wrong, but the actual sound of the car engines and the driving was just barely hearable, which kind of took away a lot of immersion for me, and it made the whole driving feel a bit meh. Each and every vehicle felt the same to me, from driving a sports car to a giant truck. There was obviously a bit of a speed difference, but honestly, I wouldn't care which one I chose. I'd pick up any vehicle in this game and just get in it and use it, so it makes unlocking new vehicles not feel rewarding at all. The enemies all felt quite generic with no real emotion attached to them, although throughout the game I loved the main player and it made me really root for him to bring success to the Saints as a gang. Building an empire and bonding friendships did feel very fun in the main game, but the side missions on the other hand, they were not. Well, they weren't distinctively bad to say, they were just, again, I'm going to use the word meh. A lot of this game was just meh, very repetitive and all felt very pointless. I did a little bit more of the side missions than the main story required me to do, but that was about it. Most of the side missions involved killing small waves of enemies and then escaping or transporting dangerous goods, while for some reason every single pedestrian in the game then drives like a maniac to try and make you spontaneously fail that mission. And like pretty much most of the other Saints Row games, this does feature a drop in and drop out co-op system, but I didn't actually have the chance to play that because I had no friends who played this game, but that feature is always good to have. The usual Saints Row anarchy is still there, from shooting missiles out of a jet to sailing through the skies in a wingsuit or racing around the city on a hoverboard. Saints Row still delivers. Considering the studio was shut down 1 year after this game was made, this game honestly kind of exceeded my expectations. Please bear in mind that my expectations were low, but it exceeded them. I actually enjoyed this game enough to complete the main story, but not really enough to go any further beyond that. There is still content in this game, there's actually quite a lot of content in this game, but nothing feels really rewarding to me and it doesn't make me want to actually play it anymore once the main story is completed. There are lots of weapons, but I completed the main game using just the same two weapons, which was the pistol and the first machine gun you got. They were like the first weapons I got in the game. You can upgrade your weapons, which I did, they were fully upgraded. It didn't really make much of a difference to me, the only thing I noticed was there was more ammo in the clip. Considering my low expectations as a review score for this game, I'm gonna have to give this a 6 out of 10. It was actually quite hard to judge because it just not that good, but it's also not that bad. It was just alright, it was right in the middle. I'm gonna use the word again, it was full on meh. I did recently pick this game up on Steam for £12, but then I actually played it on the PlayStation 5 because it was free on the PlayStation Plus monthly games. For £12, it was a decent buy, and I would recommend someone paying like £10 to £15. Probably won't go any higher than that. If you stick to the main story, you'll get a good few days of gameplay. Well, sorry, a good few hours of gameplay. I'm one of them people who only play like 2 to 3 hours a day. If you were bashing this game, you'll probably complete it real quick. And that's pretty much about it from what I can say about this game. If you did make it to the end of this video, thank you for watching. I am Mark and this channel is Modern Tech. Please give this a subscribe and a like, comment, do whatever you can to try and help me in the algorithms. You don't have to, but it would be very much appreciated. If you want to hear more of my opinions on games, I do have a fair few more reviews on my channel, so go check them out. Bear in mind, none of my reviews are paid or paid off or anything like that. They are all legit customer reviews. So it's Mark from Modern Tech. Thanks for watching.
Well, I promise you, everything will work out exactly the way it's supposed to.